everyone should evacuate Tehran immediately. That was the blunt message from US President Donald Trump on his social media platform, Truth Social. And just hours before that, an Israeli military spokesperson had posted a 3D map of District 3, a key northern neighborhood in Tehran, warning civilians that their lives were in danger and urging them to flee. But can an entire city of 10 million people just pick up and leave? Tehran is not just Iran's capital. It's a densely populated urban sprawl surrounded by mountains with a broader metropolitan area reaching 15 million. It's bigger than New York and London. It's also not designed for war. It has no bomb shelters, no formal evacuation routes, and already suffers from chronic traffic congestion.
If you actually say that Tehran should be evacuated, it seems to suggest that regime change is very much at the very center of this. And if it's not regime change, it may actually more accurately be to say that it is regime collapse, meaning regime change, you're changing the regime from one thing to another. Regime collapse means that you just take out the state apparatus, create chaos, and let the chaos fester, rather than taking responsibility for setting up a new government.
Since Israel's unprecedented bombing of Iranian targets, especially the IRIB state media headquarters during a live broadcast, the calls for evacuation have only increased. But what's happening on the ground? On Tuesday, massive traffic jams paralyzed the city. What would normally be a 7-hour trip to Iran's northern Caspian Sea region turned into a 24-hour nightmare. Major highways like Nelson Mandela Boulevard in District 3 were gridlocked. Roads leading out of Tehran, already limited in number, are now overwhelmed by panicked civilians trying to flee. And where do they go? Israel's strikes haven't been limited to Tehran. Military and strategic sites across the country have been targeted. So while people may try to reach safer towns like Rasht, Chalus, Noor, or Mahmoudabad, there's no guarantee these spaces are out of harm's way. Hotels in these tourist towns are filling up, and locals fear that an influx of displaced families will lead to shortages of food, fuel, and shelter.
نه ما میمونیم کجا بریم تهران رو تخلیه کنیم چجوری میتونیم بریم واقعا با این وضعیت چرا حالا یه کسایی شاید خیلی پسنداز زیادی دارن یا وضع اقتصادیشون خوبه شاید اونا بتونن برن ما رو خودمون به شخصه که فکر نمی‌کنم بریم یعنی هیچ برنامه‌ای نداریم.
And even if you manage to flee, what kind of protection is available? Iran doesn't have bomb shelters. There are talks of using metro stations and school buildings as emergency shelters, but experts warn that these structures aren't built to withstand the kind of bombardment Israel has carried out. The last time Tehran faced direct aerial bombardment was during the Iran-Iraq war more than 37 years ago. So why issue these evacuation orders? This is part of Israel's psychological warfare playbook, a tactic seen repeatedly in Gaza and Lebanon. It follows the Dahiya Doctrine, where heavy force is used on civilian areas under the pretext of targeting militants, creating chaos and fear among the population to undermine public confidence in their government. And it's working, to an extent. Reports from Tehran suggest that while many are fleeing, others are staying put out of fear, uncertainty, or a sense of defiance. Residents of Tehran are expressing a mix of anxiety, solidarity, and anger, saying they are being punished for political decisions they didn't make. Trump's call to evacuate Tehran immediately might sound dramatic on social media, but on the ground, it's a logistical impossibility and a humanitarian disaster in the making. In a city without shelters, clogged roads, and no safe zone to run to, such calls do more harm than good. For Tehran's residents, the choice is stark: stay and risk dying, or flee and risk getting stuck in the crosshairs anyway. So can Tehran be evacuated? Technically, no. Realistically, never. And humanly, absolutely not. With Farhan Khan, Bureau Report, India Today Global.